Yeah, it's another time to look at the games that went down today, and it is beautiful. It's a case of what Man City can do, Arsenal can do. Man City beat Liverpool 4 goals to 1, and Arsenal beat Leeds United 4 goals to 1 as well. Could have been more on both sides. Man City could have scored a lot more goals than the 4 that they scored, but hey, everybody's happy. All is weather ends well, so it is satisfactory, it's exciting, it is beautiful. The title race is on and it's going down to the wire. There is no way this is going to stop now. There's definitely no end to the drama. It's still 8 points between Arsenal and Man City. Arsenal Man City are 1 game in hand on Arsenal. Arsenal needs to keep winning. This is the month. This is the month of April. This is the month that everybody say the title will be decided. And exactly this day, in 2012, 28 games played by all teams in the Premier League. Manchester United was 12 points, 8 points ahead of Manchester City. And at the end of the day, we remember that infamous shout, Aguero, and everything changed. And Man City were champions. And since that time, Man City have become a stronger force in the Premier League than Manchester United used to be. So it's Arsenal turn. Would Arsenal be able to hold on? Would Arsenal learn from all of that mistakes? And Arsenal under Arsene Wenger have had 8 points gap before cut down to size, and then they lost the title. Pep Guardiola, have chased teams from behind and gone on to win it. Also, Arteta have seen Pep Guardiola do what he does. Gabriel Jesus is there. Zinchenko have been there with Man City. They know how they're running towards the end of the season. They didn't play with Erling Haaland today, but they were imperious. They were good. They harassed Liverpool. They chased them down. Liverpool, let me talk about Liverpool a little bit. You see, the thing that's worked for Man City and have worked for Arsenal is the fact that when you put pressure on the fullback, the forward players, whether it's Bukayo Saka, whether it's Martinelli, even the center forward, and then the midfielders, all shock in to come and support. The same way when Arsenal is attacking, where you see Zinchenko come into the midfield, sometimes you see him go from left fullback and standing next to Bukayo Saka on the outside right. That's the same way when they are defending, they are all close up to each other. If you watch the Liverpool game, most times when Man City are attacking, Mo Salah doesn't drop back to support Trent Alexander-Arnold. Same on the other side, nobody's supporting Robertson. And that's one of the reasons why Liverpool have suffered this season. I don't think Arsenal is going to be that anyway, because the way Arsenal plays, look at every time Arsenal is out of possession, every time they lose the ball, you see even the player that has not lost the ball, the other players are all chasing it to make sure they stop. Yeah, it's sad that they didn't keep a clean sheet. I wanted to put it 26 goals considered by both sides. But here Arsenal have considered 27, Man City have considered 26. When the season started, we all said that what we look forward to is Arsenal making the top 4 this season. And the predictions was that Man City are going to defend their title. Probably Liverpool, Manchester United, which would be second. Chelsea or Man United will be third, and then Arsenal will struggle to make the top 4. Nobody would have taken it that Arsenal will be on top of the table till 1st of April. And it is not April Fool. Arsenal are top of the table, 8 points ahead of the closest rival, which is Man City. And for Man City to be able to score this much number of goals, to play the kind of football that they play this season, and still be 8 points behind Arsenal, even though they have a game in hand, it's something, to really celebrate Mikel Arteta for. And I've asked this question before, and I'm going to bring it again. There's a lot of questions that you guys need to answer on this episode of my recording. One, would this title win if Arsenal eventually win it? Because this month is the decider. This April is where they play against Liverpool. They play against Man City towards the end. If they take care of this, if Arsenal win the title, will this title win be the best title win ever in the Premier League era? Remember, in the 30 years of the Premier League, Arsenal have actually not gone 19 years without winning it, right? So this is 19 years of not winning it. In the previous era, from 1992 up on 2004, they won the Premier League 3 times. Now, they've gone 19 years without winning it. And the way and manner they've won it. So let's highlight some things. Somebody sent me a message earlier on and said, would an Arsenal win of the Premier League this season be seen as a bigger upset than Leicester winning it? Now, the word upset is the action word there. No is the word that I will give. But it will be a greater win for Arsenal winning the league title this season than Leicester winning it in 2016. Now, let me explain that. When you look at the Leicester squad of 2016, Mahrez, N'Golo Kante, Jamie Vardy, these are big players, senior players, experienced players that they may not have won the league before, but they've been battling and they have caught experience in the league. Now, I look at the Arsenal team. I don't think in the history of Premier League football, any team have ever won a championship. Even the Sir Alex Ferguson team that Hansen said you don't win titles, you can't win the league with kids. They were not kids per se. Look at this team. Practically the most experienced player will be Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka, when we talk about his experience is worthless if you consider the years in which he garnered those experience. Those were some of the worst years of his career. Now, there is no team in the history of the Premiership that have won the league having players as young as Martinelli, Eddie Nketiah, even Gabriel Jesus, Trossard and Bukayo Saka leading the line, and then Martin Odegaard behind them. So when you look at this team, you say to yourself, this is practically one of the youngest forward line ever to win it. And then look at the back. Okay, in the last 2 games now, we've not had what's his name? We've not had William Saliba at the back. And naturally, people will say, oh, William Saliba goes out of that squad, the squad is dead. But unfortunately, they've gone 2 games, scored quite a lot of goals, and not concede too much, just 1. And they still keep winning, which means that there is a mentality about this squad that normally comes from highly experienced players, that normally comes from a team that have been there, done that. Apart from Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus, the rest of this team have not won anything anywhere. Or probably Martin Odegaard from his Real Madrid experience. But then the rest of the team are just jolly good men who just play football and move about. But then Arsenal is doing something that is beautiful. And no wonder you see Arteta winning the manager of the month, the goalkeepers, the save of the month is given to Aaron Ramsdale, and you see the player of the month given to Bukayo Saka. Talking about the player of the month. Have you guys ever wondered why a player like Kevin De Bruyne has never won the player of the month in the EPL? If you know why that is, please put up a comment in the comment section and tell us your thoughts about it. Also, in all of the years of his wonderful play in the Premier League, how come somehow magically Kun Aguero never won the player of the season? Probably I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I can't remember him winning the player of the season. What do you think is the reason for that? And good to see Gabriel back, scoring a penalty and scoring another one. 2 goals for him. That makes sense because the last time he scored for Arsenal was in October. And this put Arsenal like they are going, knowing that, okay, they can boost their confidence and go. Leeds is not really as bad. The first 30 minutes was not easy for Arsenal. But once that penalty went in and you know that the second half Arsenal was going to come out, all guns blazing. And good to see. One of the funny things about this Arsenal season, they go on to win the league title that will make it very exciting, was the fact that when the league started, just make the top 4. It's fine. And then when they started, being on top of the league, one of the conversation that everybody was having was the fact that Arsenal have a first 11, a team that can start, but they don't have strength in depth. But in January, the signing of Jacob Kivior, who's not really played apart from the Europa game, and Trossard, who's coming to this team, and he felt like he's been with this team since forever, as well as the Chelsea man Jorginho, have made this team all of a sudden very, very deep. And then you have Emile Smith, who's come back from that groin surgery and is feeling like he's been with this. He's a new signing, and people have even forgotten that Gabriel Jesus was not in the squad from probably November till somewhere in February. Now Eddie Nketiah, who stood in his place, who was scoring goals, have now gone out injured, and we're back again, and we're just doing the job the way we ought to do it. It's a very, very fantastic one. And when I look at the squad, and I'm going to ask you guys this, I know that people talk about Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard. When I look at the squad, I appreciate the pairing of William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes a whole lot. But my best player this season, and correct me if I'm wrong, my best player this season is one nobody expected anything from. I remember when we signed him for 50 million, people almost killed Arteta. That player, for me, this season has to be Ben White. Ben White is a centre back, right? And William Saliba, because they want to satisfy William Saliba, that's the way I felt at the beginning. So that he doesn't go, they put him in the center, shafted Ben White wide. Some players would not be comfortable. He slotted into that position, made it impossible for Tomiyasu to come into that team. And then, not only has he held up in that position, he's mastered the act of defending very, very well. He's not Zinchenko, right? But he's mastered the act of defending and made it almost impossible for anybody to, pass through that position. And at the same time, gone forward. First off, started by adding assists, and in the Bournemouth game he scored, and then today again he has scored. And I'm not just rating him because of that, but Me, I started playing as a right fullback before I became a number 7 and outside right. Sometimes adjusting positions are very, very difficult. And for him to move from a centre back and automatically go to the wide area, people say, oh, he's defending, but sometimes it's not as easy. And the way manner is slots into that back three when the dimension of the team, the shape of the team changes when Zinchenko goes forward or going to the middle, and it slots him back into that shape of a back three, and you know, everything just take a different dimension. He's such a beautiful one. He's a faithful servant of the club. I give him a whole lot of thumbs up. I know nobody's going to vote him as a player of the season, but I think he's somebody that should be given notable mention for what he's done. Martin Odegaard, again, for his slick play, his ability to close up the opposition and also make those incisive passes like the assist he gave for Granit Xhaka's goal before he was substituted, is something. Notable mention, Roy Hodgson is back. Crystal Palace are back to winning ways. 13 games without a win, and all of a sudden they won this game 2-1. Is that something that these players know that I don't know? Well, that's how Shondai came in and Everton beat Arsenal, and after that they couldn't find a win again. I don't know what's going to happen with Crystal Palace. If you know, you tell me. But somehow, I just think that some players are just, you know, very, very bad in the way they make their coaches get fired. Well, if you're an Arsenal fan, I know you are happy. But in this month of April, this is the hard question I'm going to throw. This month of April, all the matches that are available from Liverpool to Man City, what are your guarantees? What are your guarantees? What are the sure guarantees of the games that Arsenal can win? Are you one of those people who believe that Arsenal can win all the games? Or you're one of those people who believe that somewhere Arsenal would win some and lose some, or probably drop points in this month? And if they're going to drop points, how many are they going to drop in this period? I need you to tell me in the comment section. I'm thinking I might be foolish about this one, but I'm thinking that Arsenal will go to Anfield and beat Liverpool. I might be foolish. Honestly speaking, I might be foolish. But Arsenal beats Leeds United 4-1, 1st of April, which is today. Arsenal goes on Sunday next, 4:30 to play against Liverpool at Anfield. I think that Arsenal will go to Anfield and win. And a lot of people would insult me for that. And then the next game, Arsenal go away again to play against West Ham. If this is a London derby, I think Arsenal will beat West Ham. I also think that Arsenal will beat Southampton. I think that the match that will be very, very difficult is the game against Man City. I don't think Arsenal will go to Etihad and win. That's the more reason Arsenal needs to win every other game, so that by the time they're going to Etihad, they know that even if they drop 3 points, they still ahead of Man City. And then immediately after that, that's the craziest one. Just 3 days after that one, Arsenal hosts Chelsea at the Emirates. You see those two games against those two sides wearing blue. Arsenal can afford to lose to Liverpool and then eventually go and play those two games back to back. And then after that, they play against Newcastle. After that, they play against Brighton. After that, they play against Nottingham Forest and then Wolves. Honestly speaking, the title is not won yet. But for you, in this month of April, that Arsenal have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 games, Arsenal have already won 1. How many of the remaining 5 do you think Arsenal can win? Okay, there are 9 more games to the end of the season, and this is the place where we begin to panic. Arsenal have won even in places where nobody expected them to win. But I'm asking you, how many of the remaining 5 games, there are 6 fixtures for Arsenal in this month, won the first one, how many of the remaining do you think Arsenal can win? Thank you once again for being on the channel. Thank you for all the support. Those of you who send money for us to send to the referee on the last video we uploaded, thank you so much. God bless you. Desire Paranozi of the Super Falcons for sending money. Thank you, David, for sending money for us to send to them. And all the money has been dispatched to her, and we're grateful. If anybody feels the need to contribute more, we would also receive and forward to them, to her and her mother, to support them in whatever they do. This is practically the reason why I became a YouTuber, to be a source to help people get better. That we've achieved. Let's grow the numbers so that we can one day go to the league and sign a contract that we are willing to become sponsors of the league and help the Nigerian league grow, help the Nigerian league make more money, and also employ more workforce. God bless you and have a wonderful day. My name is Idafe Mathias. You love to call me the Elegbota Sports. Thank you for supporting Elegbota TV Sports YouTube channel. Have a wonderful day.